Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Stacy, and yes, I am in a different location today. I'm in my living room, and I just wanted to change locations. Well, I mean, I was already sitting in here, but I just want to talk to you guys today, so I thought it would be a little more homey to bring you in, like we were just chit-chatting in the living room. So I'm going to watch my time, make sure I don't go over. Today, I just want to talk about why I decided to go natural. I've been asked this question several times since I decided to go ahead and transition. And I know many of my fellow YouTubers have been asked this question and have also posted the same video. So I'm going to give you my reasons today for why I decided to go natural. So first I want to say that the decision to go natural was not an easy one. And it wasn't a decision that was made quickly, or, you know, I didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to go natural. It's something that I had to ease myself into. Even from when I decided to, for my last relaxer, which was in September of 2009, I didn't, you know, from the time my new growth started coming in and I needed, you know, to get a touch-up, I didn't just say, oh, you know, I'm just going to go natural. I didn't know what I was going to do. So for a few months, I just kind of extended my just wanted to see how long I could stretch the time, you know, until I got my next relaxer. So what I did was, for a while I wore styles where I could just kind of mask the two textures. So I did a lot of roller sets and straw sets and stuff like that. And then after that, what I did was I had my stylist, she would use a pressing comb on my roots and on my edges, and then she would just flat iron my hair really straight. So most of the videos, when I first started doing YouTube, which was late in the last part of the year, those videos, like around Christmas time and stuff like that, that's when I was getting my hair pressed and flat ironed. So that's what that was. Then in January is when I actually made the decision that, okay, I'm going to go ahead and transition. So it took me, so September, October, November, December, January. It took me 4 months, you know, four and a half months before I could actually commit that I was going to actually transition. So there's not one solid specific reason why I did it. It's a couple of reasons rolled together. A couple of years ago, I cut my hair really short. I did like an asymmetrical, and it was, you know, cut really, really short in the back, shaved down in the back. And when I got my relaxer, I got a burn on my neck. I mean, it wasn't a little burn. It was a big burn. I guess before I tell that story, I should say that my skin is really sensitive. I have eczema. So when the normal person goes in and gets their relaxer, you know, you get base and everything. I need twice as much base as the average person needs. You know, when you know it's time for a relaxer the day before, you're kind of patting or whatever. The week before, I was patting. A week before I needed a relaxer, I was, you know, making sure I didn't mess around with my hair too much or do too much to it, because I knew that relaxer would burn me up. So very, very, very sensitive, very easy to burn. So even, you know, with the most sensitive of a relaxer, you know, mildest relaxer, I was still very easily burned. So here I was, middle of summer, you know, I got this fly haircut and I colored it, you know, bright red, and I thought I was so cute. And then here I am, bam, I got this big burn on the back of my neck. And I'm sitting there like, for real? It's the summer. I got on, you know, little tops, you know, tank tops, and I'm, you know, showing off all my skin, and bam, I got this big burn on the back of my neck. So here I was trying to put makeup on the back of my neck and cover up this burn, and I felt so silly. So I was like, man, you know, if I get another burn like this, I'm done. I'm just going to go natural. Because I can't be walking around, you know, looking all silly with burns and makeup on the back of my neck. So I said that, not really meaning it. It was just kind of something I said in passing, because at that point my daughter was already natural, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'm going to go natural too. Said it, didn't think too much about it. So, you know, time passes, fast forward to the end of last year when I actually started thinking about it. So during the time that I was flat ironing my hair, getting my hair flat ironed and pressed out, I was thinking, okay, so what am I going to do? Thought about it, and I was like, well, you know, I could go natural. I saw my daughter's natural hair evolve, but at that point, I still didn't really know much about natural hair. So I was just like, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know what kind of hair I'm going to have. You know, I just keep thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to look like Florida Evans. And I don't want to look like Florida Evans. I ain't knocking Florida Evans, because in the 70s, that was what was up. But, you know, in 2010, that ain't what's up, not for me. So it was a struggle. But when I started thinking about it, I started doing some research. And of course, like I said, I did have a little leg up because my daughter is natural. So she was like, you know, you already do your YouTube for makeup and stuff. Go on YouTube and just, you know, not Google, but, you know, check some people out. Because she really, Black Onyx is one of the people she loves. She's like, oh, you know, watch some of Black Onyx's videos. Look for some other natural people. And that kind of opened up a whole nother world for me. I found this natural community here on YouTube, and I found so many ideas and inspiration and, you know, answers to questions that I had that really helped me to consciously go ahead and make the decision and say, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to transition. So, January of this year is when I decided to go ahead and take the plunge and transition from relaxed to natural. So, I did it, one of the reasons I did it was, you know, for freedom, to free up my time. We've all spent Saturday afternoons in the beauty salon, and we don't want to. To free up money. You know, relaxers are expensive, touch-ups are expensive. Every other, you know, I had a standing appointment every other Saturday. You know, I'm kicking out $30, $40 every other week. That adds up. So, you know, those were two key reasons, to save time and to save money. Freedom of expression, you know, through my natural hair, I could express myself so much more with my natural hair because, you know, I can try something one day and if it doesn't come out right, I'm going to go back home and play with it again. You go to the beauty salon and, you know, she fix your hair and your hair is, you know, laid out, boom, 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 and you sleeping on your hand and, you know, and once it's messed up, it's messed up. You either go back or you wait 2 weeks until she can fix it again. So, you know, like I said, if I like it one day, I can go back and, you know, if I don't like it, I can go back and change it or experiment or try around and see if I like something else. So, freedom was another reason I decided to do it. My daughter, she was my biggest inspiration and my biggest supporter in going natural because, you know, I saw her do it. And I'm thinking if a 16-year-old, or even at the time, she was 14. Or she wasn't even 14 yet. She was 13 going on 14. If, you know, a teenager, a young girl can do this, I know I can do it. You know, I'm a grown woman. I'm 35 years old. I know I can do it. So she's another reason I did it. Just embrace my natural self. I came into this world natural. You know, I was natural as a little girl. So why can't I do it now? You know, now, and now, like I said, I'm a grown woman. I'm more educated. I know there's more resources out there. And I can, you know, try this for myself. As a little girl, I had to depend on what my mother did to my hair. Now it's about me, and I can do what I want to do. So, you know, and I just thought it would be fun to do. And, you know, it's something, because my daughter's my best friend. You know, she's my BFF forever. So now we're both on this natural road, and it's just another thing that we can do together, another bond. And I love it. So for me, it's one of the best decisions I ever made. You know, like I said, I'm newly totally natural because I just got rid of my, you know, relaxed ends. But I think it's going to be a great journey. Going natural may not be the best decision for you. You know, relaxers aren't the best decision for everybody. Going natural isn't the best decision for everybody. So if you're thinking about it, do your research, do your homework, give it time. You know, just make sure that it's the best decision for you. So, you know, I did what was best for me. So, hopefully, I was able to answer some questions with this. Hopefully, this decision, hopefully, my answers have helped somebody or have given you some insight into why people go natural. So, this is my story. Everybody else's, you know, everybody's story is different, but this is my story. So, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.